Without further ado, can you all please stand and give Lex Mckee a big Skater Rat Race round of applause?
I'd better be good then, better be good. Yeah, excellent. Why is my thing not working? Da, da, da.
I'm just going to grab the books for those of you that need one.
Technology. Da, 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 da. We'll use some amazing technology tonight called a finger, which will advance the slides in due season. Good evening, thank you very much for coming out. I come from Fantasyland, and I hope you live in Fantasyland too. But before we do Fantasyland, we're going to do some memory, and this is only for people who realise they have a terrible memory. Thank you very much. I teach memory skills because I have an appalling memory. So this works for me. I asked Christian to share some images from the local flea market so we can get a bit jealous of his new life in Portugal. Because you know what it's like, you go and do some stuff and then your nearest and dearest and says, what did you see? So we're going to go for a journey through the flea market, and imagine at the end of our journey, our nearest and dearest is going to say, tell me about your day, and we're going to memorise everything in perfect order. Isn't that right? Yeah. Good. So here we go. Number 1, the cycle helmet. Number 2, the cuddly toaster. Number 3, the pinball machine. Rather fancy that one myself. Number 4, the chessboard. Number 5, the police car. Number 6, the bicycle. Number 7, the angel. Number 8, the Mickey Mouse bag. I think that's Mickey, or is it Minnie? I think it's Mickey. Number 9, some rather disturbingly looking ceramic grapes. Number 10, I really don't know what that is. We're going to call it Frogman, okay? Frogman. It's really quite interesting. The top hat, number 11. Number 12, the turtle. Number 13, disappears. Because I'm hoping your brain's going, I haven't got any of those, I haven't got any of those. I must remember. Is that happening? Good. Because memory doesn't work when we're stressed or under pressure. We come from Amsterdam then. Have you ever done that? Hi, I am Lex, damn. So, we're going to work with our memories today, take the pressure off. I think that's some sort of wetsuit, isn't it? Number 13. Number 14. I've heard about these from days of yore. A record player with vinyl. Bit of the Rolling Stones there. Number 15 is only 18. That one scared me. I'm sorry, Christian. I am having nightmares tonight. 16, some stylish headphones there. 17, is that pool or snooker? Pool, isn't it? Pool balls. And number 18, money. Get away, get a good job with more pay and you're okay. So, with your partner will be nice. Let's see how many of them you can remember. You don't have to write them down. Just go, oh, I think there was that, and there was that, and there was that. Have a quick chat with each other.
They can't get any extra books. Would magazines work?
Did people book more than one book, didn't they? Yeah, magazines would be okay.
Yeah? No, that's good, I know. They can't get into the room where the
books
are.
Oh, no! Yeah. Maybe we'll adapt their presentation. No, they need to have a go, don't they? Let's go with magazines.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Mickey Mouse and then the grapes, and then
He has trained well.
The frog. Oh yeah,
You're doing well, though. Okay, folks. Okay. There are 3 faces I'm seeing. Face number 1. I can't remember any of them, and I don't care. Face number 2. Like another face you pull sometimes in life. It's just like sometimes memory is hard work. Your brain is 2.5% of your body weight. Well, not mine, but anyway, most people's. 25% of your oxygen. Thinking hurts. It's expensive in terms of your return on investment. And then the happy face, I know the answers. How many did you get right? You were awesome, weren't you? Nearly all of them?
You got most of them. Yeah.
Most of them.
I reckon you got 13 out of 13.
Anybody get more than 13 out of 18? Who? You got them all? No. I like the bravado there. 13 out of 18. Any advance on 13 out of 18? Going, what? Got them all? 13? Yeah, good. So you don't need this part of the program. You can just access that smiling state. Those of you who've done well, have you done training in this before? Or just got a naturally good memory? Who got high and has done training? Who got high and hasn't done training? Right, so you need to know these people. If you spend enough time with them, there's something called osmosis, and it rubs off. Because that's a real gift. I know some people are very good with numbers. Numbers have an interesting relationship with me. I'm not particularly good at remembering numbers, so I have to use a system. This is for people in need. Give me a number between 1 and 18, please. 5. Number 5 on the list was the police car. Do you remember that? Yes, give me another number between 1 and 18. 10 was that strange frog creature. Oh, guy. 13, lucky for some. And my favourite one, that was the wetsuit. Another number? 18, money. And that's easy, you see. So we tend to remember firsts and lasts. So the easiest tip to take away tonight for speed reading and memory as a hack is to work for shorter periods of time. So we've done some study with students who are studying clearly for 3 hours. There's comprehension over a 3-hour period. And when you measure their quality of comprehension, it's much higher at the start, items that were presented first, and at the last. And then in the middle, there's Wednesday. Have you ever had a Wednesday? We're having one now. This is going to be a different kind of Wednesday. So you need to make a Wednesday outstanding to lift your memory. Now imagine if you took that 3-hour period and you broke it into 45-minute sections and just had a 20-second physical posture shift in that break. You're going to have primacy and recency, primacy and recency, primacy and recency, primacy and recency. So Ron, my great friend at the back there, we've known each other about 15 years. We've done a lot of training together. Ron's actually trained to train this, so welcome, lovely to see you again. I used to get feedback from Ron's clients and other clients saying, you know, the thing we like most about your workshop were the breaks every 45 minutes. You know, you wanted, I had some life-changing revelation that set the course of my life in a new direction. But no, it's like having a break every 45 minutes changes your attention because you're sitting on a problem. Your lymphatic system, what does your lymphatic system do? Flushes out toxins, and it needs to be pumped by bodily movement. So if you do not move your body, the toxins build up, and learning and work becomes, as we say in Dorset, and unfortunately this is going to be on video, a pain in the arse, or a pain in the neck, where the poisons build up. So literally by moving for 20 seconds, every 45 minutes, you flush out the poisons, you reboot the brain, and you feel amazing. And here's one of the exercises you're going to do every 45 minutes if you want to join the FAB 45 Club. FAB, Fluid Adjustment Break. Hoping for a bigger laugh there, but never mind, we'll work on that one. All right, so what I'd like you to do, you'll need your hands free. One great way to get your body thinking is just to elevate, stand up. Hands free. And on your left hand, I'd like you to lift up your thumb. Whee! Excellent. And on your right hand, poke out your little finger, but put your thumb down as if you're having tea with the Queen. Lovely, Your Majesty. Thank you very much. And now all you're going to do, and we could really do with some video of this, is swap them over. Yes. Just check on your neighbour, make sure they're not cheating. Oh, it's looking good, it's looking good, it's looking good. Coming in there. At least you're smiling, that's good. Now the reason we're doing that is the right-hand side of your brain, your right cortical hemisphere, controls the left-hand side of your body, your left side of your brain controls the right side, so you are switching on both sides of your brain as well as flushing out your lymphatic system. Give yourselves a round of applause. Excellent. Good, 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 good. Now you have just discovered the best way to get more space in the library or on the train. Your alarm goes off after 45 minutes and you start going. People will move. It's elegant. Good. One other number between 1 and 18, please, that we haven't had so far. 12 we've got, and what? 14. 12 was the Golden Turtle, and 14 was the Rolling Stones and the record player. Cool. Now I promise you, my memory recall without assistance is appalling. So would you like to learn how we hacked the memory there? Have we got anybody here who's into skipping that's happy to mention? Hey, I love to skip. I go down the gym and I skip. Nobody's going to admit that. Do you remember skipping songs? You've probably heard them from other people because you don't do skipping. 1 rhymes with bun, 2 with shoe, 3 with tree, 4 with 5 with 6 with, that's handy, 7, 8, gate, 9, 10, fantastic. And number 1 is shaped like. Can you think of something that's shaped like a 1 that we can share on camera? Don't go there. I use a lighthouse, okay. Number 2 I use as a swan. And number 13, which was my favourite today, so I use the number shape to be my second set of 1 to 10. So I have a shape of a 3 for number 13. Does that make sense? So in the memory system of my brain, the memory palace of my brain, I have a cloakroom with bun, shoe, tree, door, hive, sticks, etc. as pegs to put the things on I want to remember, because my mind works at what's the word? Not useful. Inconvenient times. Where are you when you have your best ideas? Or breast ideas. Warm in here, isn't it? That's number 13. We're going to get to that. Where are you when you have your best ideas? In the shower. There's only 3 places on the planet where you can have great ideas. In the shower or on the toilet. Yes. There's 2 other. In bed. There you are, this little voice comes in your head. I'm going to give you the best idea you've ever had in your life, because I know you'll never remember it. The evil brain. There's another place as well, another sort of genre of places. Going for a walk. Any repetitive physical activity is brilliant for your brain. So your brain wakes up when you wake up and only goes to sleep when you get to work. Isn't that great? But if we had more showers at work, more communal bathrooms, maybe we just went for a walk together, or maybe slept together. So what do you do to store those things? So I have a cloakroom. So number 1 in that list, who remembers the first thing that we saw? It was the police helmet, wasn't it? It was a cycle helmet that I saw as a bun, and imagine boom on my head. So if you can make it disgusting and humorous, it really sticks in your mind. Number 13 was breasts. Unfortunately, that is my pleasant association. So I saw a James Bond type lady doing up her wetsuit. I had no trouble remembering that at all, but I am blushing, and so I should. Number 14 for me is shaped like a yacht sail, so I had the vinyl player on the yacht, and I'm going to give you a link to the full system if you like this, because I've never had to remember more than 20 items. The really exciting thing is this is random access memory. So you can go 8, which for me is gate, and that was the Mickey Mouse bag. So imagine coming into Disneyland. Or you could go 15, which was that horrible doll. And for me, 15 was my missus when she was pregnant. She looked like a number 5 from the side. So I'll just imagine us giving birth to that horrible. It's, because it's so horrible, it's going to stick in my mind. Very, very powerful. So there's a little mind hack as we move into Fantasyland. And the fantasy is how many words per minute you read at the moment. And what I'd like you to do is share that fantasy with the person next to you. I think when I'm not stressed, when I'm enjoying the material, I read a gazillion words per minute. Little chat with the person next to you.
Drink.
Actually, some water would be good if we got some. Yeah. Okay, let's open and bid in. Well, I'm looking for somebody with a very low opinion of their words per minute. Who thinks got the lowest words per minute in the room? 200 is not low, that's high. I want somebody really low. Lowest in the room. Do I have 30 words per minute? Anybody think they do 30? 60, that's more like it. How many? 30, good. That's what I like to hear. Fantastic. Anybody go way above 200? Can I see 300 in the room? 400 in the room? 300, fantastic. Ron, I would hope so, yeah. Ron teaches this stuff as well. Any higher than 300? 450, thank you. All right. This is the last bit of bad news today, all right? Back in the 1980s, that was like a century ago, the United Nations reckoned if you weren't reading at least 400 words per minute as a professional, are you ready for this? You would be regarded as functionally illiterate. Whoa. The great news is we can blast through the 450 barrier tonight without any upsell for a longer speed reading program. How about that? Is that cool? What you got to do is get your reading materials out though and count the number of words in 2 lines. A number of words in 2 lines. Thank you.
Apologies for those with the magazines. We couldn't get to the library, so it may be tricky with the magazines.
We'll adapt, you still get the point. All right, number of words in 2 lines divided by 2 to give you the average number of words per line. It's going to work with the magazine as well, so don't worry. Now, before we go any further, there is only one person I would love you to compare yourself with tonight. Who is that? Yourself. Yeah. There's going to be different rates around the room. It's where you end up your A and B that I'm interested, not the person next to you. Okay, I am going to count you down to 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom, we'll start. Good old-fashioned stopwatch here. And then we'll work out how many words per minute you really read by counting the number of lines multiplied by the numbers of words per line. So you counted the words in 2 lines, divided by 2 to get an average words per line. That's your score. We'll count the number of lines, and we'll see if we were living in Fantasyland. I feel a fantasy coming on. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So you're counting up your number of lines and you're multiplying that by your average words per line. So you counted the number of words in 2 lines and divided by 2 to get the average words per line. So that looks like. I'm hoping most of you are pleasantly surprised.
Did you say you times that by the number of lines you've
Number of lines, yeah. So if you've got 10 words per line and you've read 15 lines, it's 150 words per minute. iPhones are allowed and other phones from other companies, Androids if you want to use your calculator. Oh yes, what a beautiful issue, which we will deal with tonight. No big issue. How many words do you have in 2 lines? 54 lines, and how many words per line? Is it about 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 540 words per minute, which is outstanding. It's amazing. Looks like 10 words to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. By 54, if we called it 10 words per minute, 10 words per line, 540 words. So that's stunning.
So mine was 7 and I wrote 41 lines.
So you're going to multiply that. I'm not going to do that in my head. That was a minute. So that's your words per minute.
Can we include where there's 2 words in there? How do we work out this?
It's only a general rule of thumb, so be gentle with yourself. So just to encourage an old man here, how many of you read more than you thought you were going to read? So that's usually what we discover. That's good. The really brilliant news is I looked around the room and I can help all of you because most of you stopped learning to read when you were 6. You moved on to comprehension and appreciation of literature, but the actual physical muscle activity, the activity of reading, had no further training after about age 6. So who's happy to go back to being a 6-year-old? Can I see your tongues? That's excellent. That's what 6-year-olds do. Because when you were 6, you read with your finger. And we're going to explain how that was such a powerful tool. But of course, we're all grown up now, so we're not allowed to read with our finger. We will be reading the martial art of reading, speed reading, with either the power of steel or the power of wood tonight. And you will be taking one of these away. And if I ever see you again, you will get the partner of it. You'll have to come back. Very good for hair. Fantastic. So they'll be coming around in a minute. Now what I'd like you to do is imagine between us there is a huge book. So it's like that. Would you take that finger and draw in space at the speed you think your eye moves, the way your eye reads a book. So in other words, lots of words on the page. Is it smooth? Is it free form? Is it a submarine? I don't know. Now have a look around as well, because this is good fun. I have to say there's a lot of smoothies in the room. Can't say there's any jerks in the room, that would be rude. Excellent. And that's why I started with the sayings about Fantasyland, because most of you are living in Fantasyland. That is not how your eyes move. How can I be so bold? I can be so bold because of Sesame Street. Now, many of you are far too young to remember those Muppets on Sesame Street, but it was one of the most powerful educational programs ever. And it nearly failed. Because the psychologists, can I just hear a little boo for the psychologists? Boo. Thank you very much. That was a little boo. That was nice. The psychologist said, you can't put puppets with people. You'll confuse the children. So the pilot of Sesame Street had the adults and the children playing separately to the puppets. And they used eye tracking cameras, which they use for adverts, to see where the children were watching the screen. So this is how you test the effectiveness of an advert, but you can also test the effectiveness of a program. And what happened was, when the puppets came on the screen and the eye tracking cameras were there, the kids would go. It was totally absorbing. And when the parents and the kids came on the screen, the kids went. And so they put the real people with the real puppets on screen, and Sesame Street was saved and highly successful. And so they use that to track people's eyes when they read. And you're going to be a tracking camera for your partner now. So I'm going to get into pairs in a moment, but I have to give you a little bit of a warning. Over the next couple of exercises, people have fallen in love. And I don't think we've actually signed those release forms, have we? So this is a highly dangerous martial art of speed reading. So choose your partner carefully. And you need to face each other. I don't think we've got the space to move the chairs around, but so you can see each other face to face. Good choice. Good choice. All teamed up. Good, good, good. Right. May I borrow your book just for a moment? Can I just hear your best evil laugh? That's good. That's good. You're just about to have some evil power. So only one person will have a book at a time. But the one who just did the evil laugh, which is all of you, I'm going to have a go at this, have control over the other person. And they're going to say to the other person, read normally. Read slowly and carefully. You can do the laugh you want. And then read as fast as you can. So it's 3 speeds, normally. As slow as you can. 1 word at a time. And then as fast as you possibly can, just so that you can see how their eyes really move when they read. So that means if we're working together, it's absolutely mission critical you can see my eyes. So you'll need to calibrate with your partner to hold the book in a position where they can see your eyes. For some of you, it might be easier like that, because you must see those pupils moving. They're off. They're going. Away you go. Some of you have started already, so make sure somebody has the book, somebody's watching, and then we'll swap in a moment. Thank you. My crowd control.
We're all ready to go.
Yeah, it's coming, it's coming.
Alright, and actually resetting, so you're going now.
Swap as soon as you can. Swap over. You can actually stay there because we're going to do another exercise. That's good. Yep. Good. Fantastic. So, you are all observers. Does your partner's eyes, that's terrible English, do your partner's eyes move smoothly? No. And this is the joy of reading, and this is where we're going to get an instant breakthrough, Because what your eyes do, and you saw it, Sanjay, I heard you actually say resetting. With these advertising cameras, it went like this. Focal point on the page, focal point, regression. So when somebody's relaxed, they go back to get understanding. So they go, dun 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 dun, what did I miss? Dun 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 dun, what did I miss? Dun dun dun. Carriage return, ka-ching. Da da da. This is boring. Let's look over here. Come back to the page. I'm on the wrong bit. It's disastrous, and it's fixable by a kind of magic. So you ready for a bit of magic? This is the dangerous bit where people fall in love. So I've warned you. Okay. You need to decide with your partner. You're both going to be observers, but one person's going to observe first. So decide who is going to be the observer first. All right, observers, you've got the easy job to start with. So Christian, if I can borrow you for a moment. Well, demonstrate. They're going to be 4 rounds, all right? First 2 rounds are without magic, so we'll demonstrate the first 2 rounds. I'm observing Christian. It's absolutely vital that he keeps his head still, so feel free as observers to give your operator a bit of feedback if they move their head, which goes, which bit of keep your head still didn't you understand? And you're going to imagine there's a big circle between you, and your operator is going to go from the 12 o'clock position as slowly and as smoothly as they can around the circle. Observers, thou shalt not laugh, thou shalt not give feedback until we've both had a go. So round 1 is I watch Christian, round 2 is he watches me. Then you can laugh at each other and give feedback on, call that a circle? So have a go. Off you go. Yeah? No, you can keep your head still, but your eyes are going to move around the circle. Okay. You can do this. You don't need to watch us. Okay. What I'm looking for in the room is some reassurance that your partner's idea of a circle is a disaster. What I hoped you saw was quite good up here, and then weird stuff going on at 4 o'clock and 8 o'clock. It's just like, but it's jerky. And then, boom. If that was a tyre, it would be a rough ride, wouldn't it? Is that fair? Good. So here's where the magic comes in, and you get a choice tonight to take away wood or steel. If there looks like there's not enough of your choice to go around, I have more in my bag. So fret not, take one for now, but choose thy wand. Will it be wood or steel? Here is wood and steel. So as they come round, should we go wood first? Yeah, one each. Who's got wood? Who wants wood? Can't believe you fell for that.
Okay, wood. Yeah. Right. Wood.
Chris, we get
Yeah, you see how nice they are.
Chris, we got
Any more wood? Any more wood?
Right. This is the extended magic finger. And I'm going to model again with Christian so you can see how to do this. This is the dangerous bit of the evening. Christian, come
Who
here.
wants to change that?
As the observer this time, you have the magic. So the observer has the wand each time. And what you do is you ask your operator to keep their head very still, and you guide them with the tip of the reading guide around that circle. Now this is where the head is most likely to move, so just gently say, keep your head still. And go around a couple of times until you've seen this, and it will be a wow. Okay, guide them round. Now here's the warning. I warned you that people fall in love in this exercise. The bad news is it's not with the other person, it's with their own guide. I have seen many times over the years the observer. It's always with the mouth slightly open. It's just so beautiful. I love that. It is beautiful, and you can take it home. All right, so get a room. But for this exercise, you guide your partner around the circle. You feel your head actually move there, so keep it nice and smooth. And then swap. It should only take about 30 seconds. So enchant them.
Feel none of the jerk. So much
I think there's some wizardry going on in the room. I'm seeing some people going, Expelleramo, what it is, Panorama. Fantastic, good, good, good. Safely exercised. So now you have not only a visual guide, but a metronome, so this can set the pace when you speed read, and an offensive weapon. So if you feel you're not getting the recognition you deserve from your partner or from those you work with, Facebook calls it a poke. The police call it abuse. Oi. So what we're going to do is literally guide the eye along the words. So now you guide your guide a little bit lower than the line. So when I was much younger, I fell in love with my mother's sewing machine. It was a beautiful bit of engineering, electric powered, had an accelerator, and she did fantastic work with it. And I'm a creative. I thought, well, how do you do that? So I said, can I have a go? She said, yes, dear. And I made a terrible mess. And then she explained it was all about those two trackers. You've seen the sort of skis on the sewing machine? So the needle is the focal point of the eye on the page, stitching your learning together. But the key thing is a very important dance move. With that. All right. Now some of you will prefer to lead your eye from above and some from below. Either is acceptable. So just find a position now that works for you on the page. You're going to hook from above or hook from below. And it might differ from left to right handed and left to right pages. Found a position that's comfortable for you? So let's just track back over the benefits. So what your guide's going to do is control the way your eye contacts the page. So you're going to do group of words, group of words, group of words, group of words, return. There's going to be none of this skipping back. So you're just going to move forwards only. You're going to set the pace. And I hope you felt that when you were guided round that circle, it felt smoother for you. So this is the number one way to reduce eye strain. This is going to help your eye health over the years as well. Don't need a chopstick, you can do it with your finger. This is just a bit of magic for tonight, but there's a bit of specialness about it. But it is very good because of the fine point. So I'm going to do the 60 seconds again. And some of you are going to go faster. And some of you might go slower. And if you go slower, I don't want no tears. Because what's going to happen is that your engagement with the text is going to shoot up. So even though this is a speed reading technique, it helps you comprehend and concentrate far more effectively. Are you ready, magicians? Ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Stop. So count your number of lines again. And then your number of lines multiplied by your number of words per line. Good, gone up?
Mark 50 words.
Up 50 words, good, good. Da, da, da.
The best way that I find to speed read, and it makes people laugh. I have to make them more as I go.
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
And I teach so, do you find that something that people do as well? Am I really strange? Or is that
No, that's brilliant. And chaff, isn't it? Yeah. I'd say that to the whole group, so I'll ask you to say that to everybody. Okay. Anybody gone up by a surprising amount? A little bit, yeah. How did you feel your engagement was with the text? Good or worse?
Had to resist the urge not to go back.
Had to resist the urge not to go back.
Count went down a
Yes.
little bit, but my engagement went up.
Count went down, engagement went up. Really, that's what I'm after. What's the point in reading stuff if it doesn't stick? Slowly and carefully is not the way to do it. The way to do it sounds like some. What's the way to do it? What was that one? Punch and Judy probably, is to have the better engagement of the eye tracking system. This is like movie making. You may have heard of a dolly, which is a special thing that the camera goes on rails to get those nice smooth shots. Your brain is doing that. Picture, picture, picture. So if you went down at all, please don't fret. You can actually double your reading speed just by using that technique. It needs a little bit of practice, but it needs practice in the real world. It's not like having to do something so that you can then go and read. You can practice it while reading. Shaf, make us laugh.
Yeah, what do? I teach, and I didn't realise I did this till recently. When I'm speed reading in class, I'm checking students' work on the screen, because I teach IC2. I go across with my finger, and I go, and I have to literally make a noise, otherwise I can't, I can't decipher what I'm reading. And I just asked Lex, am I extremely distracted? I mean, I have kids laugh at me, and I never realised that I did it. So, but if I don't go, it doesn't go in. So I just wanted your view on that. Is that?
I think that's absolutely wonderful, and this was our engagement, wasn't it? Want to say something about sub-vocalisation?
Oh yeah.
To the group.
Well, I was saying that I was reading a lot of the speed reading stuff. They say you shouldn't sub-vocalise, but Lex is the only
So
one
that's saying the words in your head as you read.
Yeah. It's engaging a different sense in your brain as well by hearing or saying things to yourself.
So you actually search online, and every other speed reading trainer says don't do that.
Yeah.
So I am the only speed reading trainer that says sub-vocalisation or making ridiculous noises in front of the class is good for you. And it's good for you because of the reason you've just said. You're layering the senses. So if you can see it and take it in, and if you can hear it in your mind's ear or even out loud, you're putting more hooks on the information. Fantastic.
I found trying to read a different language, I had to do that.
Yep.
Because I was used to hearing it but not reading, and so I had to vocalise in my head to understand what I was reading.
Works, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It just adds that extra spice. Do you ever read a biography and hear the person's voice, if you know them? So if I read David Attenborough, I hear David Attenborough. Of course you do. Yes, that's right. It's David Bellamy. Amazing. Good. Are you ready to get excited about old age? It's amazing what happens as you get older. Lots of embarrassing things. I mean, the hair in the ears, what's that all about? May I borrow your book? But there's one great benefit of old age, and it's not wisdom. It's called eyesight. Some of you have already started to do this. I'm sorry, could you hold that for me? The joy of that for speed reading is the vast majority of people, as they relax into speed reading, relax their back, they hunch up and they get very, very close to the book. And we even have a saying about falling asleep with something in the book. You heard that cliche? I fell asleep with my nose in a book. That's dreadful for your eyes, brilliant for going to sleep. So you didn't realise that tonight was a cure for insomnia as well. If your nose becomes your reading guide, or in your case, what you're getting is fewer words per fixation is the technical term for the photo you're taking of the page. Thank you very much. As you get older, or as you do this now, as you hold the text further away and form an L with your body, so it's a bit like trigonometry. You imagine the eyes looking at the page, back nice and straight, legs nice and straight. Good posture stuff, finishing school. What you've got is a really good impact on the retina. So this one doesn't need any practice at all. It just needs you to go hold the material slightly further away with the guide, and for most of us, at a slight angle. Okay. Do you want to have a go at that, see if that makes any difference? Should we do a 60-second? Yes, Lex. Yes, good.
Yes.
So we're going to use the guide as we did before. We're going to hold the material slightly further away at an angle, but we're also going to add the final bit. And what I'd like you to do is take your steel or your wood, put it down on one word on the page. So point to one word. Can you see clearly any words to the left or to the right? Have to be in sharp focus. You see anything to the left and to the right? Good. Can you see anything above? Can you see anything below? So you think of an organist reading 3 lines of music at once. And this is why we use a sharp point rather than a ruler or a bookmark. With a ruler or a bookmark, you'd still have the straight line. That would help you. You don't have the metronome, and you don't have this leading the eye. So the sharp point enables your brilliant brain to actually scan what it's just read, the bit above, and the forthcoming attractions as well. So when my kids were little, the happy days were when I would read to them, because I could read with passion and bring the characters to life. And then their horrible, evil teachers would say, take a book home and read to your parents. And I would say to my kids, but you're crap. Never out loud, and never on the video. Because they would read slowly and carefully, one word at a time, and there was no passion in it. And it's just like, I can't wait to get to the point where I know you read ahead to get a sense of the context and put some feeling in there. So, sharp point, do you need to start at the left of the page? No. If you can see one word to the left, you can already start one word in and stop one word from the right. So you get a narrower sweep. So let's be clear about this. We're going to have a little bit more distance, a little bit of an angle. We're still going to use the guide, but we're going to try a narrower sweep of the guide without losing any words, because we know that our eye is taking in 2 or 3 words at a time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, folks. Interesting shift. Who's seeing an interesting shift in their speed? Before I come nearly to a conclusion, I promise you, Jason, I promise you, we will not be showing this video to the police, all right? Is there anybody in this room who ever has exceeded the national speed limit? You've put the pedal to the metal and you've gone 80, 90 or 100 miles per hour. Yes, fantastic. And then your conscience speaks to you. And you come off into a residential area and you think, 30 miles per hour. I shall slow down to 30 miles per hour, having been going 100 miles per hour. Do you know what that is, by the way? That is an impression of a certain animal. That's a rabbit on a Harley Davidson. So there you are, going 100 miles per hour. You slow down to 30, and you see a police car. So you check your speedometer. And what does your speedometer say? 50. So the really interesting about the entrepreneurial mindset is that we learn to think fast. And we get a lot done in a day because our internal clock is doing 100 miles per hour. I used to work with a lot of unemployed people who wanted to go into self-employment as a way out of unemployment. And I'd say, what did you do on Tuesday? And they go, I went down the bank. I go, what else did you do? Oh, nothing else. Because they got used to a really slow lifestyle. So if you've got something that needs doing, who do you give it to? A busy person. We can use this in speed reading. If you were to take a text and read it at 100 miles per hour with zero comprehension for just 60 seconds, you would accelerate your expectation of what 30 miles per hour looks like. So I'm going to unpack that again so I get it across to you. I'll read a book with no comprehension whatsoever, just for a minute, at crazy speed, making wild, crazy noises with my magic wand. And then I go back and read for normal and find I'm going at 50 miles per hour instead of the normal 30. So there's all sorts of things you can trick your brain to do that. And the last thing I'll share on speed reading is who loves music? Fantastic. Who loves the gym? Oh, not quite so many. Obviously, I'm a model of people who love the gym and music. So when you go down to the gym and you want to exercise, this is not the tune you listen to. Doesn't work, does it? What do you listen to down the gym? Or some Rammstein, yes. Good East German heavy metal. Not many of you have heard Rammstein. You've not heard Du hast mich mein Freund, yeah. Excellent. Good pumping music gets your body clock working at a pace. So if you can work with music in the background, and not everybody can, understand that, but that's the final hack. Having fast-paced music at a critical level, it's usually quite low volume, it's enough to get your heart rate up, your brain waves going 100 miles per hour. And then we take a break every? I think we've got it. I think we've got it. So might I just go back to the memory thing, just so we've embedded that as well. I use 5 principles to make anything stick. Do you remember your vowels? A. Fantastic. All memory systems work on those 5 principles, the 5 vowels of memory. A for association. So you need to find a link. Have you ever played the number plate game where you remembered somebody's number plate by the initials they remind you of, or a word you could make with the initials? Have you done that? Some of you, yes. Have you ever remembered a phone number by the pattern on the phone pad? So you've made an association. Have you ever remembered somebody's name because it reminds you of something? Lex. So sometimes I introduce myself as Lex, as in Luther. And then they know they're in trouble. So association is the operating system of your brain. If you think about it, neuron is associating and connecting and linking with neuron to make a pattern. A for association. E for the finest thing about Italians. There's no E in opera. Yes, there is. What does the E stand for? Emotion. Memory is intentionally emotional. Remember that horrible dole at number 15? Because there was an emotion of, I really don't like that. It stuck. Have you ever tried not to remember a rude joke? Rude jokes stick, don't they? I've got 3 sons. One was born on Friday the 13th. He said to me one Christmas, he said, Dad, what's the difference between bogies and Brussels sprouts? I said, I don't know, Josh. He said, I'll tell you, we aren't eating any Brussels sprouts this Christmas. So anything yucky works. Emotion works. I was a one-hit wonder for Beloise Sun in the 1980s. Pop quiz. You only had one hit. Imagine. Who said it? Thank you, Ian. Well done. Imagination. Imagination. If you can capture your imagination. So when I remembered those 18 things, I was seeing picture links. Imagination. O, and we are finishing, comes from the courtroom. Order. Well done. Didn't even have to bang my knuckles on the wall there. Anything in a sensible order, as we've done with the speed reading there, sticks in your mind because you can track back the thread of thought, the chain of thought. I'm slightly weird, in case you hadn't realised yet. Probably safe, probably. But I am in therapy, so that's good news, isn't it? Is it not? Yeah, it is good. Good news, isn't it? I went to my therapist the other week. I said, I'm having trouble sleeping. And she said, Lex, tell me about this. I said, well, it's quite creative because I'm not sleeping, but I'm waking up in the middle of the night singing the green, green grass of home. She said, good grief, that's Tom Jones syndrome. I said, is it common? And she said, it's not unusual. Obviously a very 1970s joke, but those of you who got it, thank you very much. Anything unusual will stick in your mind. Do you remember that lesson where the teacher took you outside? My chemistry master was nearly 7 foot tall when we first went to secondary school. He had one eye, the other eye he had lost in a chemistry accident that he shared with us in our first lesson. We had attention to him. He had our attention. Then he said, boys, to the back of the room. Galvanised bucket, into which he lobbed a blob of sodium into the water. Kaboom! We took out some of the ceiling. We said, we do chemistry. My physics master said, boys, form a circle. It was a boys' school, in case you were wondering there. So we all had to hold hands. Not a good start to physics. Then he electrocuted us all. He said, that's physics. We all went, we don't do physics. Chemistry, blow things up. Yes! Physics, get electrocuted and hold hands with other boys. No! So the unusual is going to stick in your mind. So A for? E for? I for? O for? And U for? Thank you very much, folks. I've really enjoyed tonight. I hope it's been useful for you as well. I have to say, you are going to get more. So we'll make sure you get some summary of this so that you can integrate your learning. And I will hand back to Chris. Except there has to be an upsell. Doesn't there? Do you think I like doing what I do? Was that a bit obvious? I found these on eBay for $14.75 plus £2 postage and packing. If you fancy coming on a whole day workshop where we do colouring in, a technique called mind mapping, which Ron, just say something about mind mapping for us.
Well, what I was saying earlier on, it sounded like a plant in the audience because I've known Lex for a long time. But I left school with no qualifications, nothing. I was no good. I couldn't do academic, and it was only when I came across Lex and was trying for it courses of speed reading, mind mapping, and touch typing that I got the personal skills and realised that I could do academic because I used mind mapping. Went from no qualifications to having just completed my PhD. Not because I'm any different, but because I now have skills that I can use.
So we want to find out whether it's worth us running a whole day on the skills that enable you to get what you've read, sticking in your head, and then working for you in the real world. And the technique is mind mapping. This is a live one from earlier today when we had our meeting. So you'll get one of those pencil cases full of coloured pens. We'll have music and fun in a great location. We just need to know if you're interested. So Christian is going to gather that. It wasn't a hard sell, was it? It wasn't a hard sell. Thank you, mate.